Hey, what's up, Taryl?
What do you want, Ronnie? And where'd you steal that Challenger from?
I didn't steal it. I bought it. I got a real life job now.
Really? What scam are you trying to pull now?
I'm not scamming. I got a real life job at the new Shark Bite distro that just opened in town.
They hired you? Huh. We'll see how long this lasts.
I'm the top sales rep for the area now. I'm making tons of money.
Well, if you're making all this money, then why is Repo Depot out there repoing your car?
What? Oh, no! I have something special for you in there! No, come back! Oh, no!
Oh yeah, Ronnie? What'd you have for me?
I had something very special in there for you, Taryl. Something you've been looking for a long time.
Well, you better go find that car and go get it.
Guess I'm gonna have to go track it down. I don't have a choice. I'll get it back.
What are you doing? Pterodactyl here, and today's how-to video is going to be on replacing the coil on this here Toro Snowblower. Now, the coil we're going to be replacing is the coil for the R-Tech engine. If you don't have a sticker that says R-Tech on your Toro Snowblower, you got a different engine in it. The R-Tech engine is made by Briggs & Stratton. So that's the coil we're going to replace. So if you're going to replace the coil on your snow thrower, it may be similar to take it apart and replace it, but you're going to have to get the different part number. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to remove this cover. And you have to take the chute off. Now the chute's already been removed because the customer that brought this in took the chute off so he could get it in the trunk of his car. And I told him, well, you might as well take it back with you, because I got to take it off anyway. So you're going to need a big Phillips screwdriver and a 7/16 socket. And we're going to take this off first. One on each side. So now we remove those screws. You might want to get a little bin or a little box or something, because you're going to have a lot of screws and stuff we're going to be taking off. Now we need to take the key out, and we need to remove this panel, which is 3 5/16 or 8mm headed screws. Now remove the panel, get that out of your way. Let me get this bag. Yours probably don't have a bag hanging out. Now this, you just pull this back, and that'll take that out of the slot here. So pull it back and pick up on it. Take the gas cap off. Now we can slide that cover off. So here, let me show you, see? That fits in there. So that's why you got to pull it back and get that out of that spot so you can remove that cover. Now we can see that Briggs & Stratton engine. So let's look at the coil. So the part number for this R-Tech Briggs coil is 801268. And that Briggs & Stratton coil is expensive. Like 80 bucks or something, maybe even close to 90. I know it was very expensive. So I was thinking, wonder if they make it aftermarket. Yes, they do. $15 on eBay, my favorite store. That's where I found it. So You're gonna want to Google search that number, because maybe you can find it on Amazon, but that's what I paid, $15. So we need this bag. If yours has got gas in it, that's what we're going to use that for. To keep the gas from coming out, because we're going to have to remove that tank. So now I'm going to pull this rope out. And we're going to tie a slip knot in there. You know how to tie a slip knot? My favorite band, Slipknot. Not really. So watch. Go around and through. That's what's called a slip knot. And then when you tug on it, the knot goes away. It's like magic. So around your finger and back through. Take your finger out. So that'll give us some slack in here. So we can get this out of our way. Now we can tip it up on its face. And we're gonna take this back cover off. So we need to remove these two bolts with a 3/8 socket. Now this will be all loose. We can take this off, get this out of our way. Now we can kind of tilt this over to the side. Now we need a 1/2 inch deep well. We can take these off, and these washers. They're all in our little bin. I gotta put my glasses on. Now we're gonna take off these two bolts here, one on each side, 7/16. So you're gonna need a wrench and a socket. Where's mine? I'll tell you, this battery powered ratchet, you need to get one of these if you don't already have one. This makes quick work of taking stuff apart. Let's not lose anything. Now we need to get the one on this side. Be careful you don't break anything while you're flippity flopping everything around here. Now this one's a little more trickier to get at. Like I said, this one's a little trickier because it's buried in there. I had to get that wrench on there. I need a shorter. Should have grabbed a shorter 7/16. There we go. Now that also has, if yours has electric start, that bolt in the front also holds on that cable clamp for the electric start. Now our gas tank's off. Now we can move that out of our way. Now this would be a good time, if you wanted to, you could drain the tank or just leave the bag on there. And you're looking at this and you're going, oh, Taryl, look at the mess you're making. Look at how, oh, I don't know if I want to tackle this. So 7/16 again, I'm going to use a shallow socket this time. And we need to remove these. Put the nuts back on the bolts. Throw them in our bin. I missed. Oh, ½ inch. I thought that was ½ inch. So now ½ inch socket, deep well, and our ratchet. And now we can take this plate off with this thick washer. We're just gonna stick that back on. All right, we're getting close. We're getting close. Flip it up again. Move this stuff out of our way. Now we want to take this down. This just flips out of here. Now your 7/16 socket may not fit on that bolt because of this clamp may be in the way. So you may have to take like a hammer and a screwdriver and kind of knock it down to where your socket can fit on there. Otherwise you're going to be all mad and going, "This socket don't fit, that ain't 7/16. Yes it is. Just that clamp is hindering it. Alright, so we got that out. Now we got to do the same on the other side. So now we're going to flip it down and go around to the front and take out the other 7/16 headed bolt. So the one in the front is real tight. So you're either going to have to take it out with a regular 7/16 wrench, but if you want to get it out faster, you need a ratchet wrench. Because it's right here in the front. Otherwise you'll be there all day with that other open end or box wrench. Now I can get in there with my tentacle-like octopus fingers and remove the screw. Voila! Into the bin we go. Now we can remove the cover. And there's the coil. Now one thing you're going to want to do before you do all this to verify that the coil is bad is unplug the kill wires going to the on-off switch to eliminate, that may be your problem. You hate to go through all this work and put a coil on and find out your key switch was bad or shorted. So when you're testing it to verify that it has no spark, you're going to want to pull off the wires going to the coil because you got a wire and a ground wire. Because that's how you kill the motor, by just going right to ground. That's how you kill these coils. That's how they shut off. If I was to take a wire and go from here and touch it to there, if this thing was running and I took a bare wire, and I went from here to there, that's what kills the motor. That's how that works, in case you don't know. But this coil failed. And look, there's another problem. It's missing some teeth on this ring gear. Look at that. Looks like my teeth. Except mine got some green on them. I really need to brush them. Unfortunately, they don't make a ring gear replacement for this. So if you got electric start, yours is missing some teeth like old Taryl. It's just going to chew up that gear, and that gear on that electric starter is like $50-some for that Bendix kit. It'd be nice if somebody made this gear aftermarket. Alright, so now we're going to remove the coil. 3/8. 3/8. Alright, Carol, get back to business. Now that one, we're going to have to get with a wrench because the ring gear's in the way. So here's the 3/8. Oh, ratchet wrench. pick yourself up a set of these ratchet wrenches. They're not that much. I think they sell them at Maynard's. Trucker going by. Woo! Get out of the way! There's a lot of noises around this shop. All right. And then here's our new coil from
The Rob Shop. Rugged outdoor products. The Rob Shop. Visit The Rob Shop.
Well, I'm just fortunate, and so is the customer, that the old Rock Shop makes a coil for here. Those old Briggs and Scranton, they want a lot of money. I bet you Briggs and Scranton were probably fighting. How much should we charge for this coil, Taryl? We should rip the people off. $90. Okay, Scranton. $90 it is. So we're going to clean up the magnets. So that way we have a more accurate air gap. It's a little rusty. So get a Scotch-Brite pad or some sandpaper and clean yours up. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. You don't have to watch me do it. So now you reinstall the coil, and with the bolts loose, pull the coil up as high as you can and then snug the bolts down, with the magnets being in this position over here. Now you can see I cleaned up the magnets. So now we can set our air gap. So turn the flywheel to where the magnets are underneath the coil now. Now a business card is about the right thickness you need. So I took a pair of scissors and cut it down because it was a little too wide. There you go. May have to rotate the flywheel a little bit to get it underneath. And now when you loosen the bolt, the magnets are going to suck the coil tight against the business card. And then now you go back and tighten them. That's how you set an air gap on any air-cooled engine that's got this type of coil, external coil. Now turn the flywheel to get the business card out, and then rotate it back and forth to make sure you don't hear any scraping or anything, to make sure you did a good job. Now since this has got electric start, we can plug the electric starter in and hit the button, and we can check for spark before we go and put it all back together. So now we're ready to test for spark. See it sparking! Now if yours is doesn't have an electric start and you don't want to go through all the hassle of that, you can always just take the spark plug out and put the cover on there real quick and just give it a few pulls to see if it's got spark. I want to test it before we put it all back together. Alright, so now we got to put it all back together. So just do the opposite of what I did to get here. No, I'm going to have to show you how to put it together because there's a couple of tricky spots, especially putting that back panel on. So let's put this back on. Well, first, let's hook our kill wire back up. Now that we know it's got spark. And let's route our coil wire when we go to put this cover on to make sure it doesn't get pinched or jammed. And you can tell this cover is cracked, which happens. So kind of keep that like that. Let's get this back on there. And then we'll get our two screws that we took out. And you can tell what they look like. They got these built-in washers. So we're going to want to get this one started in the front first. Just want to get them started first. So again, with tentacle-like spaghetti fingers, All right, and we want to keep it loose. We got that one in. Then we're going to flip it forward. Get the gas tank out of the way. Flip this control panel out of our way. And then we're going to reinstall this bolt. If you have the electric start. If you don't have the electric start, it'll go a lot smoother. Get it started. All right. Just get it close. Now we'll flip it back down. And you can see where the washers were. So we need those flat washers and those two nuts. And then we want to put our ground wire on there for our ignition. And let's make sure that our kill wire here didn't get pinched between this cover. So make sure you can move it. Now with a 1/2 inch, we can go ahead and tighten this down. So we're going to push in on the cover. Now we can take our 7/16, tighten these down. Lift up. Get our 7/16. Tighten this one under here. And we can kick this back up under there like so. Oh, I don't need it plugged in anymore. I should have unplugged it. That's all I need. Bumping that button. All right. Move the gas tank. Take this off. Let's put this on. It's our gas tank bracket. That big flat washer. Get the nut on there. Here's our 2 bolts. You gotta have tentacle-like fingers, spaghetti fingers. You got big old sausage fingers, you're gonna have a problem with sausage fingers. Now we'll tighten these up. Now we can tighten this up. Now we can put our gas tank back on. Spin it around. This part of the tank fits on this pin right here. Put it on that pin. And then the outside of the gas tank goes over this. So you got a little pin here that this hole goes in. And then slide it over the top. Now we can put this bolt in. That's got the flat washer. And just get it started. And then we got to go into the front, so we're going to tilt it back. Now, if your bolt for the front went in this way, and then you got to get the nut on the inside, that's kind of hard to do. So if you're reinstalling it, what I would do, especially if you've got the electric start is we're going to put the bolt in from this way and put the nut on the outside. That'll make it easier. And we're going to leave the washer on it. So I'm going to tilt it up. And then I can see the hole. And it's a lot easier for me and you with tweezer-like fingers to get the bolt in from the inside. Now we can tilt it down. You can reach under there and hold the bolt with your fingers so it don't pop out. And now we can put the cable clamp on there, and the cable clamp is going to act like a washer now. And now it's a lot easier because we got a lot more room in here to put that nut on, instead of trying to do it the opposite way. Now all we got to do is tighten them up. So we got to get underneath there with a wrench to hold the back side of it. And then tighten it down. All right. So it's a lot of flipping this thing up forward and flipping it back, flipping it back, flipping it up, flipping it down. All right, there's our gas tank reinstalled. Now, we got to put all this mess back on. So now we need the back panel. Slip her on in like this. Now we can tilt it down. Take the bag off now. Now we have to get the choke part, this round part here, has to fit on there. That's our choke. So we have to kind of guide this down. You may have to pick this up a little. Guide that in there. And then guide it down on top of that pin for your choke. Make sure that this part is on the inside of this cover. So we guided it down in there. There we go, see? Now we're in. And we're on top of our choke. Can you see all that in there, Mr. Cameraman? That's got to be on top of there. So everything's loose now, which is good. Then we got to take these long bolts that we took out of the back cover, go through the handle, find the hole in the cover, line up the hole in this metal bracket here, and get them started. Do that on each side. Got to wiggle things around a little bit, get them started. And then look back down in there and make sure your choke is still didn't pop off on you. Now we can tighten those two screws down with the 3/8 socket. Making sure our cup washer is against the handle. All right, now we can try our choke. Now from flipping this thing back and forth, there's a lot of gas down in there. So another thing you may want to do is pinch off the gas line. Now let's find our kill wire plug. Here's our kill wire plug. And let's plug it back into the back of the key switch. And then just take a quick look around. Make sure you didn't get something on top of something. Make sure you didn't get your gas line on top of your rope. Make sure the gas line's down in the bottom. Can you see that? Make sure everything's all good. Then we can put our spark plug back in that we took out. Make sure the gap is good, 30 thousandths. We'll tighten that down. Put our plug wire on. We're going to put our gas cap on. And we're just going to temporarily stick this on there. So that's got to come off. This has got to come back off to put the cover on, but we want to make sure it runs and everything. We'll put one screw in there to hold it. Just pop this back in for a second so it ain't flopping around on us. We'll get our slip knot out of there. We'll get our key. Quite a bit of work to change this coil, ain't it? Yeah. Now you know why they charge so much. They charge me a lot of money to change that coil. Well, then you do it. I'm showing you how. Now this thing is probably flooded from me flipping it around, so I'm not going to choke it. I'm just going to turn the key on, and we're just going to pull it. And as Elkin says, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. Probably going to smoke too. Woo! There it goes. Pretty simple. Take the key out, pull that back, pop this out, take gas cap off, fish that through there. Now that we can see it through here, we'll pop that back in. Slide the cover back down on top. Put that on. That holds that in place. Gas cap back on. Get those holes lined up. And then look, that's all we got left. Those two bolts in the front. And the three that hold the shoe down. Washer the nut from underneath. A little bit of your time. $15 for the coil. You can get your snowblower back running again. lost spark. I didn't have to hold it. This one I will. All right. I made it look easy, didn't I? Hey! So subscribe to this YouTube channel, Taryl Fixes All. I got the slipper shirt on, which you can buy at our online store. So visit our online store and buy some Taryl apparel, because you're going to have to be wearing that when you're changing the coil on your Toro snowblower. Follow me with your junk snowblowers on Facebook and Instagram. Come on, get that stuff when it ain't snowing. You got to get it going for when it starts snowing. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! Changing the coil on the Toro snowblower with the R-Tech Briggs and Stratton engine. Woo! Made it look easy, didn't I?
Oh,
all right. Is that what you needed to get out of that car? I've been looking for one of them Hams coolers for a long time. All right, Ronnie, thanks.
no, the cooler isn't for you. It's what's inside the cooler.
So, what's inside the cooler? You got Hans beer in there? You got Hans beer in there for me?
No, none of that. But do you like hot dogs?
Well, yeah. Who doesn't?
Well, do you like really good hot dogs?
No, I don't like really good hot dogs. I like crappy hot dogs. Well, of course I like really good hot dogs.
Well, as your new Shark Bite Distributors rep, figured I'd come over and cook up some really good hot dogs for you, all right? I brought a 3-pack. I hope that's enough for you and the guys. Oh, they're really good, though.
So you mean to tell me you brought that big giant cooler over here and there's only 3 hot dogs in there? That's all you brought was 3 hot dogs?
You don't understand. These are really good hot dogs. All right, that's why there's 3 left, because I ate 3 on the way here. I'm probably gonna have 2 when I cook these up. You and the kid are gonna have to fight over that last one.
I'm not eating anything Ronnie brings. I'm going to rallies.
Oh, well, guess the last dog's yours, Taryl. You got a grill and some charcoal? Let's cook these babies up. Hey, everybody. Ronnie's got podunk-filled brats. Podunk-filled brats. Podunk-filled brats. Podunk-filled brats.